Okay, if you're here, you want to learn how to add items or features to this model that don't exist within the actual base model itself. For example, you want to give your model wings, you want to give them a new tail, you want to give them different ears. I'm going to show you how to do that using specifically downloadable Live2D items. This process may not work for downloaded PNG items, which are flat and they don't have layer data or rigging data. This is going to work for a Live2D item. So let me show you what a Live2D item is versus a PNG. I'll go to my streaming assets and I'm going to go to the items that are installed with VTube Studio. So items that aren't in folders are usually PNGs. So this is a PNG file. This is literally just an image. It is just a picture. So I don't think I can change the color of this unless I opened it in an image editing software like Photoshop, GIMP, Paint Tool Sai, etc. Which is why a lot of people will include different color variations of the images, but you're limited to whatever is available unless you yourself know how to edit the image. And depending on who you bought the image from, they may not want you to edit it. For me, I wouldn't mind. Most of the VTuber assets I sell, I want you to feel okay editing. So this is a PNG. It's flat. It doesn't do anything. There's no rigging. There's no dimensionalness to it. It's just an image that you can stick on your model. Whereas something like these, let's see, where's those cat ears? These cat ears that come with Live2D. Let's see, where'd that image go? There we go. So this is an image of the Live2D item, and you'll know it's a Live2D item because it comes with what is .moc3, a Mach3 file, and it has physics, it has model data, it has VTube data, it has these JSON files, and then it also has textures. So like you can see like the layers that make up this this model. It is multiple layers. You can edit each layer if the person that you bought the item from allows you to edit their things. Some artists do not want you to edit them. This one is designed as a white cat ear. I don't know the artist that made this. They might let you edit it. They might not. I don't know. But for my items specifically, I don't mind if you edit them unless it says otherwise in the item description. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to install an item, a Live2D item. This also works for PNGs, but I've already rambled enough. So we're going to go to the desktop because here I have downloaded my zip file, which is my ear bundle. Inside this folder is, oops, you'll notice is more folders. You can use a software called WinRAR to unzip it. Windows can also usually unzip it by itself without you needing to download WinRAR, but if your Windows isn't understanding what a zip file or RAR file is, go ahead and download WinRAR. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my zip file, this right here. I'm going to right click it and I'm going to say open with, I can open it with WinRAR, or my computer understands what this is, so I'm going to say extract files, and I'm going to extract them here onto the desktop. So now that I've extracted them, I have the folder. Basically, it's the same as this, but it's just unzipped. So it takes up a little more space. You'll notice this is 7.44 megabytes, whereas this is 6.34. Zipping it just makes it easier to send the files out for download so that you can download all of it at once. So now that I have my unzipped version, we're going to install this where our VTube Studio is installed. For me, that's storage, Steam library, Steam apps, common, VTube Studio, and then we're going to go into VTube Studio data, and usually I would tell you to go ahead and put this directly into the items folder, but to be able to edit the color, we want to load it as a model first. So I'm going to go into streaming assets, and instead of putting these in items, I'm going to put it with my Live2D models. So all of these little things are going to get put in here rather than the items. I'm going to put them in Live2D models. That way I can edit the colors. So I'm going to put them in Live2D models. They should be in there. I'm going to close VTube Studio. That way it will kind of reload everything. And now we have, see, I have my bunny ears. I have all 4 of those in here. So now let's open VTube Studio again. And for my first step, I want to open my Could not read. It's probably broken or corrupted. Please repaired. Okay, I'll fix that before I send these files out. First, I want to load my little Sonic character, or whatever my model is that I have colored. So I'm going to load him up. I'm going to go to the model customization real quick, and I'm going to copy. So I'm going to go to the multiply and screen color. I'm going to select his leg, because I want the ears to be the same color as his body. So I'm going to use the leg color, and I'm going to make note. Let's see, I'm going to open Notepad here, and I'm going to name, or I'm going to write down what that hex code color is. So that is FFB13F. Okay. Okay, and now I'm going to load my new models, which are the ears. So I'm going to load, ignore the floppy ear one, I'll fix it later. You shouldn't be getting that error by the time I send the files out. But let's do this pointed ear. So by default, it loads white, and I want it to match my model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my, the same thing, customize model, customize the multiply screen colors, and I'm going to find the front color, this piece, and I'm going to put this hex code in. Oh, I can't paste. Okay, it's FFB13F. So I'm going to type F. You know what okay, that's what I thought. FF13BF. No, I must have typed it wrong. It's FFB13F. Okay, FFB13F. Okay, so now that's supposed to match my model. You'll notice this file does have some like shading that kind of tints it a little bit. For my files, I do the shading usually, not always, but most of the time I'll do it on a separate layer. So I have the front shade here. So if you wanted to just turn that off to make it flat and match the model that's got a flat style, we can just set the transparency on that. I'm going to go back to this, and we're going to color the back color paste. And the inner ear, I didn't make note of what yellow I was using, but I don't care for it to be exact, so I'm just going to do this. Oh no, actually I was using a dark brown. Kind of orangey brown. Let's do that. And then for the fluff color, I'm going to do the yellow. Whereas if this were a PNG, I wouldn't be able to edit these individual components the way that I am. And I'm going to turn the, let's go ahead and just turn the shading off just to really make it match stylistically. So, okay, gonna hit OK. And I'm noticing there's like a little bit of white edginess on there. I'm going to click Fix White Outlines. Okay, that seemed to help it a little bit. So now this model is saved. Well, I'm going to create a hotkey. I'm going to do custom model A colors. And I'm going to save this as an art mesh preset and save. I'm not going to set it to a color. I'm not going to set it to a hotkey or anything. I'm just kind of saving it. That way, if I need to edit this model later, I can. And so now I have this ear, and now I want to put this on my model. How do I do that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of that shortcut menu, and we're going to go back to the main menu over here where this star icon is, and I'm going to do load current model as a Live2D item. So I'm going to select, and it's saying this is going to copy your models folder, which is pointed ear left, into the items folder so it can be loaded as a Live2D item. If it already exists, it will be overwritten. Are you sure you want to do this? That means if I've already put this item in the Live2D items folder, it's just going to overwrite that. For my purposes right now, that's fine. So I'm going to hit OK. And now you notice it loaded it as an item. Cool. So now what I'm going to do is return to default not pinned, use normal hotkey triggers. Yeah, so here, let's say I actually did set that custom model color to like the X key on my keyboard. Then it would be able to change color. But I don't have it set to a hotkey, so I'm going to hit save. Do you want to customize multiple screen overlays for this item? For example, you can use this to match. Oh, so we'll see. I just did that, so I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to load. Ignore that error. Let's load my Mobian model, wherever he is. I'm going to press Z, and I'm going to stick this on him Oh no, but it's the wrong layer. It's on top of his hair. I don't want that. So let me delete it, because this version of it has already been put in here. So let me search for the pointed ear. Select. And I want to put it behind the model. I'm going to hit OK. I can make it really big if I want him to have really big old ears. And there we go. It does track a little weirdly because it's pinning to the hair. So how do I make it so that it pins to only the head and not like the hair strands? We're going to go to our model. Oops, not that. This configuration. We're going to go to model settings. We're going to customize model. And here we're going to exclude art mesh from item pinning. So what that does is it means I get to specify what things I do or don't want it to pin. I don't want it to pin to the hair, so let's make sure it's not pinning to the hair. Okay, so these are turned off, which means it's not pinning to the hair. That's good. So we don't have to mess with any of that. So it should just be following the back of the head. It's not perfect, but you know, for its intended purpose, it gets the job done. Let's say I want to do the same thing, but I want like a bunny ear, or I want to paste this ear so he has the same ear on the other side. Let's just go to this. Let's look up the pointed ear again, select, and I can flip the image. I want it to be below the model. I'm going to hit OK. Stick it on there. Let's make it a little bigger. And there we go. Now you have different sets of ears. They're not perfect, but it works. And you can do the same process for tails and other sorts of things. Let's see if I have, do I have any live? No, I just have PNG tails. And see, these ones don't say Live2D, so I can't edit the colors of them. I can, so if I just search for only Live2D, these are ones that I might be able to edit the color on. So let's see, pink cat ear, puffer coat, bow. I don't have any tails I can edit, so but basically that process would be the same, but instead of an ear, you would just be pinning a tail to the body. And then you could put 2 tails, 3 tails, 9 tails. The world is your oyster, and you don't have to get the items from me. You can get them from other people on Etsy. The one thing you do want to make sure is that if you want it to match your model, make sure it's a Live2D item, and that the artist that is selling it does not mind if you recolor the item. It's easier to recolor the item if it's white. But some artists don't like make them the way I do. I make my stuff so that it's super modular, super duper customizable. So I'll go ahead and I will upload some tails and ears and bits and bobs. And this should be a way to get you to kind of like get your model how you want it. So let's put this wing on here. Configure or fine-tune the Live2D item. In theory, I should be able to change the color here, but I'm not sure if that's a thing. Let's hit save. Yes. Do you want to customize, multiply, and screen color overlays for this item? Yes. So I can do this here. So you may not even have to load it as a Live2D model like I did at the beginning of this tutorial, but sometimes that helps, especially if you're confused. So like you'll notice this item has like blue tinted shading, so the colors are a little weird, so you are gonna have to like tinker to really try and get it to match how you want it. Okay. So let's add another wing. Let's flip the image. Configure, okay, save. Yes. Okay. Oh, it took the other one away. Maybe I shouldn't configure it. So let me put this on the body. Let's try adding it again, but without configuring. Flip the image, I'm gonna hit OK. Okay, cool. So I guess maybe if you wanted to have a different, like if you wanted a red wing and then a black wing, you might move this file into your Live2D models folder adjust the colors, and then load it with a new name. That way the software will see it as a different item. But yeah, you would do this process for ears, tails, outfits even. Let's see, I've got some outfit pieces that you can pin. And you'll notice, see, these are PNGs, so they don't have that Live2D icon. This one is colored red, so it'll be difficult to change the colors on. And I want to make sure that it pins. I don't want to pin it to the chest fluff, and I don't want to pin it to the arm, but that's kind of hard to do. Oh, it worked. But if you're having trouble, like you're like, I don't want it to pin to these things, go to the configuration, customize model, and then exclude art mesh from pinning. And then you can be like chest fluff. I don't want it to pin to the chest fluff. Turn that off. Or like the arm. I don't want it to pin to the arm. So let's turn all the arm functions off. And then if I try to like stick it to the arm, it won't stick. If I try to stick it to the fluff, it's actually sticking to the middle of the chest instead. So that will help you get things. And then once you've pinned it, you can always go back in and turn that back on. So like, okay, well, I want the next item to be able to pin to the hand, so let me look up the arm or the arm or whatever, so I can turn these back on, and that item is still pinned to the body, but then now I can pin new stuff to the other stuff. And item settings, let's do the Christmas, let's do the fluff for the front of this cloak on top of the model, so he can have like a little shoulder cape because he's cool. Yeah. Oh, see, it pinned to the head or something that I didn't want it to pin to. There we go. So yeah, this is a way to kind of like add to your model, really make it your own. Pin clothes to it if you want. I know I have some puffer jackets that I'm going to upload to my Etsy shop. Yeah, like I have coats that I can, you know, pin. Stuff like that. So I'll be making some things to just pin to your model. But this is kind of a way to add stuff to your model that isn't built into it. So you can add 2 tails or 6 tails, 9 tails, or different types of ears or little horns, or stick items on their hands or shirts and stuff like that. For this model, it's best to find a shirt that is like drawn as like just a torso piece and then the sleeve piece. So let me kind of show you what that looks like. Brain function. Let's go to my items. Add my puffer coat. So you'll want a PNG that is just like, this is just the front of the coat, and then you want another PNG that's just the sleeve. So like this exact image that you're seeing right here wouldn't work unless it's a Live2D item, which mine is. I just have to configure them and get them ready for upload. But hopefully this helps. You could probably even buy like a PNG of a little hair, or a Live2D Ahoge that's got physics that you can just like kind of stick onto the model, or stick bunches of hair tufts. For example, I've got some hair tufts, so maybe you don't like the hairstyles that I have. Let's turn the hair. Actually, here, I'll do that in another tutorial because this one's kind of long, so let me do that in the next tutorial.